Hell, the one and only podcast made by a cow. And today we have got the fantastic, the wonderful, the glorious Khadija Mbowe. Hey. Yes, feel free to bring your operatic skills. Since this is an auditory, what do you call it?
Experience.
Platform. Experience. That's it.
Oh no, my
exactly.
Siri. Whoa. It keeps doing that during interviews. Why?
What is Siri saying? Hello. We also have Siri. I've got two guests on today.
Clearly, I don't know what she was doing. Anyway, apologies.
It's okay. I actually didn't hear her, but I'm sure if she wants to chip in on the convo, she's welcome. But yeah, so how are you doing on this fine day in December, Khadija? What is up? How is life?
I have been unmotivated, tired, sad, dreary, and irritated.
I love that. I love that. But I love how you are honest. Like, most people just be like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm all right.
No, I like this. I was like, seasonal affective disorder. She's here. She's here.
Yeah.
And I already have mental health issues, so that on top of it all is just like, yay.
Yeah. I feel
and I'm just, just tired.
Yeah.
Just very, tired and unmotivated. I was supposed to start a proper vacation in a few days, next week. And I was just like, I'm starting early. I'm gonna still do a little bit of work, but I'm lighting it up. I just can't, I have no motivation.
Exactly. I mean, I actually had a month off in October, and I've got to say, if I didn't, I dread to think how I would feel right now. I didn't want to, because I was like, we got to keep pumping out content. That's
exactly
which we will get into. We will get into that. But I'm so glad I did. My God, because otherwise, I don't know. It just actually, speaking of, tell us who you are, what you do, and about your channel. Tell the people about yourself.
Okay, so I was trying so hard not to do my intro. God, my name is Khadija. But yeah, my name's Khadija. I am an artist / content creator / everything else. I want to be a multi-hyphenate, essentially. Just talk on the internet, I do sociology meets media studies, lens of analyzing pop culture stuff, and then just other, okay, siren. And then just other sociological issues that I'm interested in. What else? On YouTube, mostly on YouTube.
You have an opera channel because you're a trained opera singer, am I correct?
Oh yeah. I don't know why I said that. Oh yeah.
That old thing.
Well, it's my singing channel, because I made it because a lot of people were asking me to post more videos of me singing. But honestly, I haven't sung properly, consistently in probably a year or so. I graduated in 2020, and it's so wild how I went from singing every day, hours a day, days and days, practicing all the time, to now I'm like, oh my God, I am rusty. I'll try to go to sing something and I'm like, where is the support, girl? Where's the appoggio? That's Italian. Celine. It's your opera phrase for the day, your opera terminology.
Oh, okay. And how long did you do that operatic training? Because I have a friend who does it here, and she said hers is 7 years overall.
Where'd she? Oh wow.
Guildhall.
I was gonna say, because a couple of girls that I went to school with, one of them, we have the same voice teacher. She's at Guildhall right now, actually. But I only did 4 years. Well, kind of. I've been singing on and off. I've been singing on and off forever, but I did take voice lessons for a while and then stop and then start. I just never had that full love for opera, but I had teachers that would tell me that I should sing that style of music because it suited my voice or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It was just hard. I love it. I think it's a beautiful genre of music. I think it's nothing like being able to hear your voice over an orchestra. And I haven't gotten to have that many opportunities to do that, but or just hear your voice on a wide stage, just out to people, like, and how, like, I don't know, it's pretty cool. And like learning about your voice and about singing and how much, speaking of talking on my voice, and how much like singing is related to speaking. And it's just like, it's, I don't know, it's a very fascinating genre of music, and I do love it. It just wasn't enough for me creatively, is what I realized when I started doing YouTube, because I hadn't gotten the chance to like create my own stuff until I started doing YouTube again. Like I had like 4 years of just singing works by mostly old dead white guys.
Of course.
Yes.
Tis the way with classical. In fact, actually, so what made you start YouTube? You said started it again, implying what? So when did you start it the first time?
The first time I did was like in the 2010s at some time. I don't remember exactly when, but I was just like, I was just posting random like sketch videos that I don't think you'll be able to find because I scrubbed them off the internet.
Unless
this is not a challenge, okay? But yeah, I just was posting that, or like I post singing videos mostly. And those, one day I might do like a video reacting to those because they're on my YouTube. They're just privated. But yeah, it was mostly just that. And then I just was like, I don't really care about YouTube. I'm not doing this. So I didn't really like pay attention to it after a while. And then in 2020, I was like, oh, I'm bored.
Why were you bored?
It was just like, I was just kind of like, you know, everybody else was worried about something, but I had my own thing going on. And I was just bored. So I started doing this like interview series. I don't know what inspired it, but I just, interviewed a bunch of people, edited it together, posted it. And I was like so proud and happy because it made me remember why I love doing stuff like this. And like, the more I'm doing it, the more I'm remembering like moments from like childhood and teenagerdom, adolescence, whatever you want to call it. It's been so long.
I know what you mean.
They said it 29 years. But like, it's just reminding me of like all the things that I loved doing that I'm getting to do now with this YouTube stuff. Cause like, I remember in junior high being in charge of making the grad tape and making sure that we got photos of every single person in our year so that I could like edit a video together and do the music on iMovie, shitty little collage. But it was like, I was so proud. I was like, yeah, the whole school got to see it. And I was like, anyway, but yeah, that's how I got back into YouTube. And yeah, it's just been really fun for the most part.
Yeah. And now it's your main job, right? I mean, you have staff,
I do
you have
full
little
time.
staff.
Well, not full-time staff. I work with a lot of freelancers. Woo.
Yeah.
I can't afford benefits yet, but
yeah. you're not giving out health insurance.
I mean, I don't even have it yet. I just got it actually.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Provincial.
Yeah. So you blew up over lockdown, and that is something we both can relate to. You blew up.
Yes.
I mean, a bonkers amount. As we mentioned earlier, you're in the 400k kind of region, 400 and something k. And do you want to tell us like how that happened? What was it? A particular one that popped off, or what happened?
So my origin story, my villain origin story. No, my origin story of YouTube goes as follows. I was making content and stuff starting in like June of 2020. It was good. It was fun. I didn't know what I was really doing. I was just kind of playing around. Fun fact, I had to borrow money from my younger sister to buy the camera to start making videos because I was jobless because, Panorama. So, I paid her back, don't worry. But that's actually, if it wasn't for her doing that, I was still going to be having videos on my phone.
If you were like, this video is sponsored by X, and I just imagine your sister commenting like, baby back.
Baby, sponsored by who now? Adam Mo, that's who. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I paid her back. But she she definitely helped me out and was like giving me people like Kelly Stamps to follow to get some information. Yeah, she's the one who introduced me to her. So yeah, I was just making videos. I was doing a video essay once a month and then making like life chatty videos. And then I started introducing a few more sociological things because I thought that would be more interesting. And then I didn't release a video for a few weeks because depression. And I was like just in a hole, in a cave, in the deepest pits of hell in the beginning of this year. And as I was like slowly coming out of it, it was like a day. I specifically remember it. I was like looking at my phone, and like when you're a small channel, I was like 800 something subscribers. You don't really see the YouTube notifications red button that much. It doesn't really show up that much. So when it does, you're like, oh, cute. So I open it and I'm seeing a lot more in there. And they're like, oh my God, so glad T recommended you. Oh my God, so glad T recommended you. This is great. And I was like, say what now? So I like sat up in bed. I think this is the first time I'm like telling the story in its entirety. And I was like, oh my God, what? Because I'm low-key a witch, not fully, but like a little tiny bit. I have a bit of like clairvoyancy in me. I'm too afraid to nurture it fully. I may be too powerful, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I had this weird vision of like months before when I first started watching T Noir's videos. I was like, oh my God, I love her vids. These are so cool. This is stuff I want to kind of do, you know? And then I was like, oh my God, it'd be so amazing if she ever shouted me out. We sending a text to the universe, Khadija. It's not real, but let's just pretend it is. Like I would say thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It was like a fun little, just speak it into existence, joke around.
Manifestation.
Manifesting, but like, don't take it seriously. Like genuinely, just say something wild that you want to happen and just be like, I'm so funny. And then just don't think about it. And then all of a sudden I was like, so it was kind of two of those things, me freaking out. But yeah, I went from like 800 to I think like 100K in like a couple weeks. And then it like doubled after that, and then it kind of like slowed slightly but then doubled again because like I had that shout out, and then the Bridgerton video got really popular. So it's always been kind of like I'll like chill out a little bit and then one video will like do really well, like the slim thick influencer one or like the influencer face one. I don't know, all of these ones, they like kind of, it's like a hill, peaks and valleys. Sorry, I'm realizing this is an audio platform, and I kept making that
waving the hand.
I know, and I was like, "This is."
Khadija is waving their hand about, flailing it around,
waving it in your face. But yeah, that was the blow up, and yeah, it's been growing steadily ever since.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's due to many factors, that being your videos are fantastic and you're fantastic, but I love that it was in part due to someone shouting you out. I just think that's beautiful. I just think that's
why I wanted to shout people out, because I was like, that was like my vision in my head. Like I was like, before I even got the shout out or anything like that, I was like, oh my God, it'd be so cool if I like actually had a lot of subscribers on YouTube, because then I could shout people out and get more recommendations for them, because I now know how hard it is to do this stuff. Like, yeah, and sometimes, and most times, the algorithm just isn't going to send you in the right direction. Or it will, but it'll only send you in the direction that you send it. So if you don't know what to look for, you're never going to find it. So that's why
in fact, you were just, a video yesterday came out, which you featured in. Yeah. Do you want to tell us about that one? Because it's really interesting. Give us a synopsis.
That intro, can we just, though, talk about that intro?
That was Noah.
I was living. That was Noah?
That was Noah.
Okay,
Noah
I might have to start speaking to Noah about intros. I might have to start speaking to Noah about intros, because that was...
Yeah. So
that was...
FD Signify, who's a creator you should check out, fantastic creator. I guess the whole video, it was called Break Bread, and it was all about kind of the idea of one bread tube being very white and needs to die, but also left tube as well. So tell me what your issues.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah,
They were
exactly. Like, do you want to tell me your issues with LeftTube and how that? And also, you mentioned it in the video.
Yes, I mentioned in the video, I'm doing my own like kind of video debrief, I guess, on it too. But like, my issue is just that like, firstly, you can never control how you're labeled no matter what you do, because people are always going to decide how you are meant to be seen. So because I don't ever recall saying that I was a left tuber or a bread tuber, excuse me, to my recollection, lawyer speak. I also never recall saying like,
I did not have sexual relations.
Thank you. Like literally that. It's true though, because I do not recall saying my political beliefs. I think I've done it once or twice, and then I took it down because I was like, listen, Khadija, you got to learn more about this stuff before you just start claiming it, you know? But like,
isn't it funny? We're in a state of affairs that now saying like advocating for queer rights and being anti-racist is like completely antithetical to being right wing. Like, it's
wild.
Point, whereas, yeah,
that's the perfect way to put it, because it's like
you used to be able to be conservative, but still like
be a nice, decent human to an extent. Like, yeah, you were probably still like racist light, but like, you know, what else? I'm sorry, I shouldn't make jokes like that, but here we are.
No,
anyway,
I mean, is it a joke or is it just a statement of truth?
You know, like it's just like you were probably still, but like now it's like you have to be one or the other, and I'm like, girl, I never claimed that. I just said I don't want to be a shitty person. I'm trying to learn every day. I'm a homosexual. Like I don't know what else you want from me. Check your biases. Let's chat. Let's pay people fairly. Let's all collaborate and work together. Things can be more egalitarian. Like, I don't know what else. What? I never claimed any of that, but people will put that on you. And the reason that I actually made the video was because I was watching a video this other girl did explaining why she's apolitical. And in it, she talked about the left tube, bread tube space. I'll send it to you after. Like, I thought it was really good. And I like her videos a lot. I think she is in England, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. She's South African, but I think she lives in England. I'm not, I'll check, but I'm pretty sure. Because I think the whole thing was she got into Oxford. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But this doesn't matter. But I really enjoyed the video. And then when I saw that she had like was talking about bread tube, left tube, and then how like sometimes it's like a concern. And I think a lot of people have brought this up of like, okay, yeah, you're talking about all these ideas, you're intellectuals, but what's being done outside, right? Like, how does this turn into practical action? So she was talking about that. But then, I saw my face, saw a few other folks, and I was just like, never. I was like, no, I never claimed this, girl. Also, I do shit off the internet, but that's why I didn't claim this, because people have expectations of you when you claim a certain label. Anyway, phew. But that was Speak's video. Check it out. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I wanted to kind of like drill in on that point you made about people don't know what you do offline. And I mean, and I guess this is probably coming from a place of defensiveness, but I think this is my approach, and something I feel conflicted about is that I do want to like use a platform to get people to do things, like good things, right? But at the same time, I do feel more comfortable just donating privately than to ask people to donate to things when I know that they may not be in a position to do so. And it feels kind of gross, someone who can, to be like, hey, donate to this thing, because it feels a bit like, why don't I just donate and not like, you know what I think? The thing I have is asking for props in a way. I don't know.
No, for me, I don't like to broadcast who or where I specifically donate things to, because I just don't, I've never really liked that. I've just always kind of like, it's just not my jam personally.
Yeah.
But I also have been someone that has done like those collection plates for a little bit, where it was just like, okay, hey y'all, this is ours for the month. Don't forget to donate. And making it a communal thing, I think, is what actually made it feel not icky to me, because we were all contributing. Like, everyone put stuff in. I took screenshots, was like, y'all want me to post it on here? Y'all want me to post it on? I'd post them on my Instagram just so people knew where the money was going, or DMs and stuff, just so people knew like, this is where your money is going. And I'd give a little bit of extra too once we actually sent. Not a little bit. I give extra once we sent, or once I sent the money over. But I felt kind of sketchy about it because it was through my PayPal, and I was like, I don't know, uncomfortable about it. And I talked to some folks, and they were like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. But I think that's more like nonprofit-y stuff as opposed to like grassroots mutual aid stuff. Because I think at that point, just get the money how you can. Like, why does it have to be all this bureaucracy? Anyway. Learning a lot about the nonprofit world that I'm not too happy about. But anyway, I think that making it like a communal thing is like as a way to, at least for me, it's a way that I found makes me not feel weird about asking people to donate to certain organizations, because it shows people that like, oh, we're in a group effort. And then like at the end of the month when we've collected all that, I'm like, y'all, guess how much money we all raised? Like, it's just like a nice, like, we did it, you know, like, and yeah, I don't know. I think if that's ever something you'd consider, like, to making you like maybe feel comfortable, and also like, because sometimes you kind of like, if you care enough, you kind of have to like be like, yeah, I do shit. Like, hello. Like, you have to gently remind people every once in a while, because there will be those that just think you just talk online for the sake of talking. And one thing that for Harriet Kimberly Nicole Foster said that I really liked was, she was like, I am not on the front lines. Okay? No. She's like, that's not me. I never said I was. She's like, I want to do as little harm as possible. I want to make sure that I am as good a person as possible. I want to compensate people financially, donate where I can, all of that. And she was just being very honest about it. And Kim's like in her early 30s, so I think she's like settled in her life a bit more, and is like, and been doing YouTube forever. But that kind of freed me up too, because I was just like, yeah, this is the way that I choose to help. And this is how I know how to help. That is the most sustainable for me. Because that's the other thing. People like, I don't know, want you to like have all this ire and go. And I'm like, if you don't have any intention, organization, direction, and then sustainability within that, then it's just you reacting to everything and nothing gets done. And you're going to keep complaining about the same issues over and over again. For me, I'm like, this is a long game. I am about building something that will build upon itself and upon itself and upon itself, so that it's structurally sound. So for me in my personal life, that looks like taking time to organize the people in my YouTube community, be like, hey, this is an organization that I think would be a good time. Let's all do a little something, something here. Now I'm not doing the PayPal thing, but like, I want to do merchandise and stuff. So what I want to do with that is be like, okay, feels a little iffy making merch off like the stuff that I say. Sure. So let's do this where we have a rotating list of organizations and we donate a percentage of the funds every month or quarter, or however those things are, you know, like, and those are just ways that I think I am able to help in my everyday life, and know that I'm doing what I can do that I can keep doing, as opposed to just appeasing people online that just want me to get as angry as them. Does that make sense? I feel like I went in so many different directions.
No, you're absolutely right. It's interesting. Yeah, because I think, when you said about getting as angry as them, I think a lot of it is emotional energy and also just literal physical energy. So, but yeah, so when you talked about sustainability and that kind of thing, as a creator, what would be like your main sort of takeaways from growing so blimmin' fast? Because I think when you're starting out YouTube, that's all you want. You just want everyone to see your videos, and you dream of that blow up. But then when it happens, you're a bit like, oh my God, please slow down. Or at least that's what it was in my case. I was like, oh my God, slow down. I'm not ready for this.
I wasn't thinking, oh my God, slow down. I was just more so thinking like, okay. This is like, I had a pretty chill, like, to be honest, at the beginning, I had a pretty chill response to it, because I can't compute those numbers in my head. That's way too much. What? I can't even count that high. So I was like, yeah, this is fine. You know, like, I was very like relaxed about it. It was stressful, but also, I'm a kind of person that like, I'm so used to just putting my head down and getting it done. Like, just, this is going to be tough. This is going to be hard. This is going to be a lot. Just do it. And like, I'm so used to doing that like, it's like, there's a part of my brain that just shuts off from like dealing with the emotional side of things. So even when people would ask me, oh, some of these videos are so hard to do, like, how do you like have the emotional labor? I'm like, I don't even think about that. Like, it's very rare. And yeah, well, trust me, there have been breakdowns, you know, where, listen, the body, what is it? The Body Keeps Score, that book. The body keeps score. Okay. And it always comes to collect. So I know it's not a healthy coping mechanism, but it's like, just like a natural, it's either a trauma response or whatever you want to call it. It's just a response. Like, I'm just like, all right, all of this is happening. I don't have time to think about what's happening. I just have to focus on what I'm doing. So it's been very helpful. But then it's also been kind of hard because like, I don't know anyone in my real life that I'm really close to that does this. So I felt pretty isolated, to be honest. And it was really nice actually, because one of my best friends, we were going out last week and she was like, how are you doing? And the way she asked me, I was like, oh,
like she really asked you.
You know, and I was just like, I'm okay. Yeah. And then after she was like, you know, you can complain to me if you want to about this stuff. I know people that like have like material success feel like they can't complain because it's like, well, you have what you want. You shouldn't, but you can complain to me. And I was like,
that part.
Yeah. She was like, God, it's the little things with you. Like,
yeah.
But it really
sounds
meant
like a
lot
keeper
to me. Honestly, it meant a lot to me because I just was like, I'm not someone that complains a lot. I'm not someone that's gonna bitch and moan about stuff. I'm like, let's figure out how to fix the problem, you know? But this is how do you fix, this isn't a problem necessarily, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just noticing even more recently that I'm getting, and this is the phrase, if the more you start, when you're really doing well, that's when you start getting more haters or something like that, right? Because I've been pretty in a bubble this year, to be honest. Yeah, there have been a couple of things, but like for the most part, I don't really have, I don't really see a shit ton of negativity in like my space. But yeah, more recently, I'm just like, oh my God, here it goes.
Do you think they're people in your community or are they people that aren't and
not
have found you? Okay.
Exactly that. And that's the problem with getting big so quickly too, is that, I don't know, you start to appeal to a bunch of people and you're like this new hot thing, but people have short attention spans too. And so for me, that's the thing that I was always afraid of. It's like, okay, well, people are interested in me now, but I don't. It's why I had kind of like trepidation, I guess, about like even getting too excited when everything was happening, because I was just like, they could forget about me next week. I don't really want to sit and be too excited about this. Like even when I got sponsorships that I was really happy about or stuff like that, I would like be excited. It would be very measured, very cautiously optimistic, you know? And that's kind of been the way that I've been thinking about things. It's been like a while of me feeling like I can't fully exhale just yet. And I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, but that's a really good way of putting it. I really relate to that. And I think I also really relate to what you said about feeling like you can't complain, because it is, in terms of, I mean, I can't speak for you, I can't speak for other creators, but materially, my material conditions are the best they've ever been. What you talked earlier about borrowing money from your sister's camera for your camera. I've never like, I'm not trying to claim I've ever had it hard. Like I've never been in poverty. I've, nothing like that. But even
the struggle is real.
Even a middle class graduate from the south of England, because of the way the economy is, has a shitload of debt and sort of gets by paycheck to paycheck. I was like in my overdraft and that kind of thing. And now it's not that, and it's like more than comfortable, and it's such a blessing. Yeah. But then there's these kind of like mental things where I'm like, I'm still the same person. I've still got the same like mental health issues. I've still got the same insecurities. I've still got all those things. And in some ways they're enhanced by all this because you feel pressure, right? Like it's that, it's, I don't want to say fear of cancellation because like the whole like moaning about cancel culture is very silly, but like genuinely letting down that community that have given you all this. I think that's it. I don't want to let down the people that have really just made my life so lovely. Basically.
That's the thing. That's my whole mindset about it. It's like, I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to hurt folks. Like, it's the campfire or campsite rules of like leaving people better than you found them if you can. And like, I just like, I don't want anyone that interacts with me, even if they're not a fan of mine, even if they're not someone who enjoys my stuff. I'm trying to change my language. Even if they're not someone who enjoys my stuff. It does
feel weird, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know? But like, I don't want anyone who interacts with me to be like, oh, I feel worse. Like, and you know, like, or like feeling terrible or feeling, and I can't control that. That's not my responsibility. So I'm trying to release myself from that. Me and my therapist are working on it. Don't worry. But like, I think it's just the people that I actually do care about. Like, that's the thing. Whenever people are like, oh, disappointed. And the thing is, some people will use that against you, especially if you're more willing. You talked about earlier how like, you're like, I'm sensitive. I'm like, I'm sensitive as hell too. And I'm more willing to sympathize with people when they say that I've upset them than maybe somebody who's just like, get over it, you know? Because I had a couple of incidences this week where one was like, honestly, it was not a big enough deal for people to be making it out to be, but, or I should say, initially I didn't think it was as much of a big deal. And looking back on it, like, because it's been a few days, I can say that now, but in the moment, I understood why some people were upset or why people didn't think it was funny or whatever. It was like a joke on like a YouTube short. But I sincerely like wrote out just being like, hey, I don't want to make people feel bad. Just to let you know, I'm a musician. This is how I joke. It's like we just roast each other. I'm not videotaping some little kid trying to play piano and it's shitty and making fun of them because that is just mean-spirited. Also, I get why though. Like, I'm not going to sit here and insincerely apologize to y'all, but I am going to tell you that I understand the frustration and that I'll be more responsible going forward with how I internet. Because that's the truth of it. I'm not going to sit here and grovel and apologize for something that I didn't think was wrong and also, like, in my heart of hearts, know my intention about and know that I'm not ready to say I'm sorry because, like, that's just fake. Like, even if all the other stuff was out of the window, like, let's say all the other stuff was like, oh, I didn't think I was wrong, or all that other stuff was gone. The point is, I didn't feel like apologizing in that moment. But I knew I had to say something. And too many times we demand apologies from people right away when they're not ready to say sorry. Sometimes it takes people more time to understand how they've hurt others. For me, it might take me a bit more time to understand why that was still so mean-spirited. Or because I'm from a different generation or a different time period or my perspective, my family life, I will just never understand how someone could be offended by that because it's not what I'm used to. But at the end of the day, no matter what, for me, the most important part is that I have told you, hey, I understand why you were upset, and I'm going to try to be more mindful about how I do my actions going forward because there are folks that will be upset by this type of behavior. I'm not going to say I'm going to completely change everything about myself and blah, blah, but I will be more mindful. And to me, that is more valuable than me saying I'm sorry to you because that doesn't tell you that I understood what you were upset about. And someone could say, oh, well, you could say that and say, I'm sorry. And I'm like, yes, but let's go back to the original point. If I don't feel like what I did was wrong or bad, but I'm still trying to understand your perspective, the least I can do in this moment right now, since you want something from me in this moment, is to acknowledge and try to understand why you were upset. And then hopefully eventually I come around and get that I should have apologized. Or maybe I just don't. Sorry, this seems very secured.
No,
is that the
that's
logic?
really, honestly, no, that's really fantastic advice because I think we see this a lot, and it's so much more intense online. The idea that in order to know, is that if you have a disagreement about whether something was right or wrong, obviously there's limits to what these things are. But I mean, for like minor things, like
that's what I'm saying too. I hope people
Yeah.
understand in good faith that I'm talking about like minor things, like the incident that I was talking about. I'm not talking about.
yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
You'd
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
people
World
gotta
War
say
II. Yeah, no,
Like,
not like
come
that.
on, yeah, guys.
There's a debate.
There's
no,
like
but-
no.
I think people want apologies straight away, and it's the quickness of it. People want things
Exactly.
quickly, straight away, and this is
Yep.
whether in good or bad ways they want content quickly. We're so used to like, and I'm not saying this is just a consumer thing. Like I as a society, like as a consumer, we all do this. I think we're used to convenience, and I think
Yep,
we forget
yep.
that human emotions aren't convenient.
No,
they don't work on
they're
this
the least
TikTok.
convenient thing about
Yeah.
us. But they're the most honest thing about us. And the only
True.
thing I can ask is that someone is like, I respect honesty a lot. I think it is one of the things that I respect the most in people, more than anything in the world. If somebody is just like straight up telling me this is just how I feel, whether I agree with what they're saying or not, I respect people just being honest, because I just don't like bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. And like, I respect it because it's something that I'm working on, because it's something that I lack when it comes to wanting to disappoint people, like we said before. Like, I can be honest about a lot of stuff. And when it comes to working with people, I'm very straightforward. All of these things, cool. When I'm talking about my emotions, I'm learning more about it and being more honest. But like, when it comes to like hurting people's feelings and things like that interaction, it's hard for me to be honest because it's just vulnerable all around. And then that honesty is an extra layer of vulnerability. And it's just difficult. I have to see this, me being honest about it. It's hard for me to do it. But that's why I respect it so much in people who can do it all the time, because it's just like, that is a skill, especially people that have fine-tuned their honesty and understood with maturity and time and all of that and experience. This doesn't need to be said right now. This never needs to be said. This needs to be said in this moment, in this way. You know, like people that have really like, I really respect that. And that's something that I hope to be able to do. It is not honest of me to get on a platform like YouTube if I say something that I don't think I offended someone, whatever, and immediately apologize. It is not honest. And people can see through that bullshit. People do it all the time. So wouldn't it be better for me to just tell you honestly where I was coming from, and we try to understand each other, as opposed to expecting you to believe and think and have the same sense of humor as me? And again, meet us in good faith here, y'all. We're talking about like small things right now on the internet that people like to get upset about. The larger stuff requires a bit more nuance.
Exactly. And that's what most of our job is, like in those daily interactions. It's little things, it's little like offhand comments and jokes and that kind of thing. I mean, obviously there are big things that happen in people's careers online, and I'm sure we see them all the time. But those are the daily things, I think. And in your daily life as well, like just interacting with people, it's like, oh, was that joke a bit too far? You know, was I a bit too sarcastic? You know what I mean? Like, we all do this, and I think, yeah, exactly. It's just that honesty. And I agree with you. I'm the same. I'm such a people pleaser that I find it hard to be honest.
It's hard.
So-
And that's why I respect it. And it's also the thing of like, people just don't want to feel dismissed. Like, if it's vulnerable. Like, this is a phrase that I love. I think Brene Brown said it or something, but like, if somebody's telling you that something hurt them or whatever, it's very vulnerable for them to say that to you. Like, you hurt me. That's a vulnerable thing to say. So that's why I take it seriously if people tell me, hey, this hurt. Because yeah, it's a vulnerable thing to say. Do some people take it too far and everything hurts them? Maybe. Were some people maybe spoiled as children or had weird attachment styles? Also true. You know, there's a lot there. You never know. So who am I to tell them? I don't know this person's life. But it's also just as vulnerable for the person receiving the thing that you're telling them. If I come up to you, okay, and also Tara or Tara? It's probably Tara.
Tara. Don't worry. Don't fret.
Tara. But like, if I come up to you and I'm like, Tara, you really hurt my feelings the other day. We were talking and you made a joke and it really irritated me. And like, you wouldn't have known this, but like my dad used to say this stuff to me and I have a really bad reaction to it. And that's why I was so upset. It is very vulnerable for me to share all of that with you. It is also very vulnerable for you to hear that for the first time because you did not think, oh, I was hurting Khadija by saying this joke. You were just kikiing with your friend and you hurt your friend. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think we consider that enough. Cause like, to me, I'm like, critique me all you want. Tell me, give me advice. Tell me to switch things up. Go ahead. I'm here to listen to y'all too, because this is a relationship. But think about your approach, not because you have to be respectable, quote unquote, but because you have to consider that you're talking to another human, you know? Like, and I think a lot of times we just really forget that because so many of our interactions are transactional.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm off my soapbox now.
No, that's all really, I mean, that's something I wanted to add as well. You are very wise, especially like in your videos. Yeah, you're very wise and you seem to be very measured and very thoughtful of different perspectives and very patient. Because I sometimes see you talk about people saying silly things and I think, oh, I'd just make a joke about them. I'd just make fun of them. But like, you're very, I don't know, you're just very patient and measured. And it's something I very much admire. Yeah.
That was so nice. Oh my God.
Put you on the spot there a bit.
That is a word. Sorry, that really just was so lovely to hear.
No, it's true.
I was gonna say, honestly, I really want to be my dad when I get older because he is like this. He can be a bit, but like, yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I've been working on for all of my 20s actually, because I have been a person that has been very reactive, and you can see glimpses of that in videos and stuff too. There are times where I am a bit like, listen, because I have not always been this person. I have been working on this for so many years. I have been trying to just like learn to be a person who responds and not reacts to everything, because I just felt like I was like a victim to my emotions all the time. I was reacting to everything. Everything got to me. It felt like everybody had control over me. Like it was so like, I don't know. So many years of therapy and lots of meditation and reading a lot of books and a few stints of the self-help industry and then checking out briefly because I was like, ooh, this is looking weird.
Well, are you talking about like certain like yoga places that are a bit weird, or what
no,
are we
certain
talking about?
gurus that like make money off of people feeling bad, like the self-help industry. I was gonna do a video a long time on it. I did research and then I never did it, but like it's an interesting world. And I think it has its good, but there's a lot of like, just manifest without considering like, and I believe in manifest. I believe in that stuff. I think it's fun. I think it's a powerful tool to try.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to say, just do that when it's always working out for you.
Yes.
You know, you got it. There are many other factors. Like I can't just say manifesting is why I'm here. Because I also just got lucky and it was the right time, right place. And I was like preparing for that, you know, like it's just like there are too many factors.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think unfortunately self-help, which is the sad thing about it is that it attracts a lot of scammers, which is so sad because the whole industry, the whole point of this industry is to help people in need and help. So it's just really messed up that so much of it is just very dodgy. That's not to say all of it is, but I mean, it's quite like it's synonymous with like MLMs and certain types of
oh my god,
therapies and things you can. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of breatharianism?
Whatism?
Breatharianism.
Breatharianism. Okay. No. Has it got something to do with breathing?
I'm about to give you a YouTube channel that you are just going to be addicted to for a week. It's called Atrocity Guide.
Oh.
So, okay, I'll send it to you on Instagram after this. Atrocity Guide's YouTube channel is like deep lore of the internet. I don't know how to explain this channel, but it is so fascinating. She did a video about breatharianism, which is like this hack diet that people were coming out with, I think the 70s or 60s. Get your energy from the sun. You don't eat. No, it is. I don't know. You should maybe consider doing a video on it or something. I think it would be something that you could have a funny take on. I really think you should consider this. Oh my God. Can you please just you don't have to do anything, because I know video requests can be annoying.
No, I'm flattered you think I would have a funny take on it. I can't believe I missed this, because I know a lot about the weird scams, but this
because then it comes out that a lot of the people that like were talking about being breatharian, like the guru leaders, would be like eating junk food all the time, or like,
well, of course,
I don't know,
because you need to eat.
Oh my God, yes, you're gonna love this. This channel is like fascinating, and then the whole, oh my God, it was so cool. It's yes. Okay, I'm gonna send it to you after.
So it's like
just consider it
times 100.
It's not even like one person though. It's like different people throughout time have claimed to be breatharian, and like that they're the leaders. I was like, and she starts it because this one old woman said that she was going to do it and chronicled it on the internet, and people were like, please don't do this. Like, please stop. Like, you're literally withering away in front of us. Stop. It was wild.
No.
Yeah. She stopped. Don't worry. But people have died doing it.
Yeah, like, of course. You would starve.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This could be an interesting, fun. I don't know. I think you should. Your eyes are lighting up.
I do love a train crash where no one dies. Like, I mean, people did die, but
yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, just check. It's fascinating, and I don't know how you could even like. There's a connection to diet culture in there somewhere. I just don't know what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I think it's now your most viewed video. It's popped off. The slim, thick body video. Yeah.
Oh yes, the slim, thick.
What is it? The reign of the slim, thick body, or
thick
something
influencer.
Like that?
The reign of the slim, thick influencer. These titles.
Yeah. They're great. No, they're great. I love your titles and your thumbnails as well. They're they're great.
I'm just making the same face in different angles.
Yeah, no, but I love it. If it works, it works. Stick with it, you know? Yeah. What is it about that video you think that really resonated with people? I mean, I have some ideas, but like, I love that video, and I think
I was expecting it to do well, just because I think people love when you talk about influencers and like body types and stuff. Like, I think that that's something that people are really interested in learning about right now. And everyone has a body, so it's something that like we can all relate to, unless you're a ghost, like we're all here. So that was just like an immediate thing. I didn't expect it to get so popular. So that surprised me a bit. And then a lot of the comments were encouraging and surprised me too, because like I never want to be that person that's straight sized on the internet being like, I'm so hurt that I have like a little fupa and I'm so sad and sorry, because like, there were moments of that in that video. I'm not even going to deny it. But I was swiftly reminded after watching videos with fat bodies being like, yeah, girl, you might get ignored by the algorithm or something like that. I get ignored by the healthcare system. And I was like, woo. Although there is issues with Black women in healthcare too. So hi. But you know what I mean? Like, it's a very interesting, like, I just, I didn't want to be annoying about it and complaining about it and stuff like that. So I just tried to speak from my perspective, because I didn't want to try to speak for people, because I think that that's one of the reasons that people maybe have been feeling this way too for a while, and maybe we haven't talked enough about it, of just like being like, listen, or at least people maybe with the body type of like adjacent to slim thick, but I don't want to say, how am I going to word this? But the not Instagram version, like the real life version, the natural version, I think times when I talk about that, like being straight sized, but not being skinny and not being fat and feeling a little like, can I be body positive or am I being annoying? You know, like, because I'm struggling with my body because I'm not, you know, a Kendall Jenner body type, but at the same time, I am not so big that like doctors are going to be discriminating against me, that I won't be able to get a flight, that all of the, you know, like there's so many other things that I don't have to worry about or even consider. So I don't know. I think it's maybe because it was so many people in that kind of middle ground too, that's why it might have resonated as well. I think that there should be more allowance, and this is very superficial stuff that we're talking about, because like, honestly, not very superficial. I don't want to dismiss it because I think it is important, but I also think that like it needs to be held in perspective with the fact that like my concerns are not in terms of like my body size. Going to a hospital or something, I don't have to be as concerned or afraid or like just not go at all because of how worried, you know? So I just am trying to think about like keeping things in perspective as we talk about these. I'm too straight sized to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's so hard with these things, because like I get asked this a lot to make a video about pretty privilege, and
why are people
I
so
have
obsessed
no.
with it?
It's so fascinating.
I made a video about it, but like
yeah, and it was great, and I would love to talk about it. But my issue with it is that. And again, this is going to sound so silly coming from someone like me who's like represented, right? I'm represented, but I don't want to be like, I don't feel like I have pretty privilege. I don't go like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, do you know what I mean? I don't look at myself and think, yeah, I'd fuck myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I have insecurities, but then I feel like if I say that, then people are like, oh, you know this, and I'm like, I get that.
Conventionally attractive, blah blah blah.
I'm not
blah.
marginalized, but I don't feel hot. Like I just feel like
but
me.
that's the thing too. That's why I'm like, people. Let's remember that we're all literally humans, first and foremost, because anyone can relate to feeling that way, and if you follow that through and then consider like how that impacts colorism and things like that, you can have more sympathy for that. And not treat it as a white savior complex. I need to save darker skinned folks because I have advantages they don't. Instead, you're like, yeah, damn, I know what it feels like to feel kind of like, wow, I'm not it, huh? Okay, I get you. We're accomplices. Let's figure this shit out because this is bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and I don't know if this is. Yeah.
No,
go
ahead.
real.
Sorry, there was a lag.
No, don't worry. I was just gonna say I don't know if this is too real. So I don't know if you relate to this, but weirdly, from being on YouTube, I've started to care a bit more about my looks when I didn't before. Well, before I did YouTube, I was like really content and just like didn't really care about being particularly attractive. Whereas I feel it a bit more now. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, these are just sad dudes. Who gives a shit what they think? But then there is another side of me that I'm like, you talked about this in your video about fillers and like little micro procedures, I guess you would call them. Tweakments. Yeah. Where you see someone get a little bit of lip filler and you're like, I mean, maybe I would be just a bit cuter. Yeah. Maybe I could just get like a really subtle rhinoplasty. Maybe I could just,
That's the thing. And I be watching Lauryn Hill's videos all the time. I am addicted to her vids now. But like, yeah, I definitely have felt that way. Not necessarily like, I don't know, there are times where I'll still go on without makeup and stuff because I'm kind of like, I am almost 30. Leave me alone. I'm like, I'm tired. Shut up. But usually, I don't know. I still definitely try to make sure that like my lighting is okay and stuff because I always get self-conscious about people roasting me about that. I definitely have, honestly, truly. I think it's just made me more self-conscious about my body or aware, I guess. And yeah, little tweakment things where I'm like, you know, if I just got a little under eye filler, the bags would be gone. And maybe I could. Or I'm like, an ethnic rhinoplasty. I can't believe it's called that. Yes.
It's actually
Yes.
called that?
Yes. This is what I be telling people. White folks are not used to being racialized or ethnicized, whatever you want to call it. So, of course, something's called an ethno-rhinoplasty because it's for anyone that's not white. That's not quote-unquote Caucasian. Fascinating.
Wow.
Anyway, but Laura's trying to be so careful in her video. She was like, this is not what I'm calling it. This is what they're called. Ethno-rhinoplasties. I'm just saying it so that y'all know what to look up. But
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
have definitely like thought about that too. I was like, ooh, I'd be cute if my nose was just like a tiny bit smaller. Same size, same shape, just like a little bit tuckier. Once you start,
I love your nose. No.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so cute.
It's just doing. I don't know why I'm like that.
We're kittens today.
But no, I definitely, you're not alone. Like when you're looking at your face all the time, I think not editing my videos anymore has helped for sure. When you're looking at your face all the time, oh my God, and you're hearing your voice all the time. I'm like getting annoyed with certain mannerisms of mine now. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And I think I say that whilst on the other hand, you also get more people telling you you're hot all the time because you've just got more people interacting with you.
My God.
So why is it you take the negative more? Why is it that like I'm thinking more about the critical
Human
ones?
beings like mess. We have been conditioned in this world to just look down on ourselves, but no more. Yeah, that's definitely a mindfuck though, because I did not grow up with that kind of reality. Like I talk about this a lot in videos. Like I was bullied a lot growing up for how I look. So like I had a glow up, quote unquote glow up, in my early 20s, like into my 20s. And like as I've gotten older, I feel like I'm on the Adele trip of like getting better with age. She was fine before. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, she was. She was
But
always
you know
hot.
what I mean. That's what I... Anyway, people just never saw her sing live. That's probably why they didn't realize, because what she was doing live.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the eyeliner, but like that's just a personal thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, that's pretty much it. So it is very weird. Like I try not to like let those compliments go to my head because I'm like, are you still gonna think this if I'm 50? You know, like as you get older, people start to like ignore and what, you know. So I feel like
Getting
if I
real
start to
now.
you know, if I say for real, if I get too wrapped up in that and like thinking that my looks are gonna be the way to like help me get everything, then like what's gonna happen 30 years from now? You know, I might look the same, who knows? But I mean, I plan on aging like Angela Bassett, so sure, but who can really tell? Only time, am I right? I'm kidding. I'm what is this thing on?
So what would be your closing advice for the nieces and nephews and nibblings who are sort of maybe sometimes looking in the mirror and thinking,
I would say that is totally natural. Like Dennis and I said this in our video at the end too. It's normal to feel like that, to feel like, oh, my body is not great. I know with the body positivity movement and all that stuff, some people feel like they can't feel bad about their bodies, or they can't want to lose weight, or they can't want to do all of this other stuff. And for me, I would say you can do whatever you want with your body. It is it is yours. If we own nothing in this world, and we actually technically, if we want to get philosophical, don't even own our bodies because we will die. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. While we're here in this mortal coil, you own your body. That's the one thing that you actually do to an extent. I maybe this is the wrong language, and I hope it's not coming across ableist, but I just think that like you should be allowed to express it how you choose to, and you're allowed to make mistakes in that process and learn in that process, but you should be allowed to find ways to make it more comfortable for you to inhabit because it's your home. And that may take a lot of research when it comes to wanting to do procedures, or a lot of research when it comes to examining why you would even want to, examining that first perhaps, so that you can really decide, oh, do I really want to do this, or am I just thinking I want to? Other thing, beauty, body stuff, they're all trends, and it can feel like they're not a trend, but take a look at a pair of skinny jeans right now and tell me that you're not going to have a physical reaction to them. You see?
And they were once hot shit.
And they were once the only things people wore. The skinnier, the better. And 10 years from now, it'll be the exact same. So that's something to really just stop and think about. And this is one thing, this is a life lesson that I want to leave. Well, nieces, nephews, nibblings, maybe not. Aunties, uncles, siblings, yes. Maybe not the babies. But because I can't, we're not doing that. We're not, this is not for you. Click off, turn off now. Are y'all gone? Okay, bye. On Tumblr, years and years ago, there was a post that it was like, before you think about texting your ex, masturbate first, then ask if you still feel the same way. And somebody at the bottom put, reblog to save a life. And I just... That's just all I think about. It's like, before you want to book that appointment, just stop for a second and think about skinny jeans. And then question if you still want to do it. Reblog to save a life.
I mean, if that's not the best advice you've given this whole episode. You've given so many nuggets of wisdom, but that repost to save a life, kids. That's it. Not kids.
Not kids.
Adults.
Yeah, okay. Adults, we are not doing, this is not that kind of podcast. We are, no, because anybody trying to strip this out of context, no. Because I don't know, man. I'm still shocked that I got that Cuties video sponsored.
Yeah. Well, oh gosh, yeah, that was a fascinating video. People go watch that for like a fresh perspective on the cuties thing, because the discourse around that was quite cursed, I thought.
It was quite cursed, quite frustrating, very weird. And I was just like, hey, this is what I think. And people were like, you're a pedophile. And I was like, that's interesting. That's an interesting conclusion to come to. Okay.
They did not watch it then, or they?
Cool.
Yeah, they just.
That's wow. That's hurtful. Yeah. I was like,
just
what?
A bit. That's slander. That's literal defamation.
Actual defamation, but it's fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What the hell? Like, I don't even. Anyway.
No, honestly, it's fantastic. Everyone go watch it. Everyone go subscribe to Khadija. Khadija, do you want to tell the people where they can find you? Plug your pluggables.
Khadija Mbowe, that's Khadija space M for Mary, B for boy, OWE. That's on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at the same handle, just like a dot between my first and last name, or a period, sorry. And on TikTok, I'm Khadija Mustard. Yes.
Oh, okay. Like it. Love it.
Yes. I just post mostly trailers now, the videos. I don't know what to do with my TikTok, so I will never get Twitter. Don't ever ask. I won't do it. Knock on wood.
Good. You're not, to be honest, you're not missing out on much. It's pretty cursed.
And Instagram is going to be cursed soon too. So
yeah.
Maybe somebody put a curse on all of Mark Zuckerberg's things.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Twitter isn't his, but
who knows? Maybe it will be one day. Maybe he'll get his way in.
He is.
And ruin all social medias.
Evil. Actually.
Yeah.
Evil.
Listen to Behind the Bastards.
Oh, isn't it so good?
Because of you.
Ooh,
so thank you for my favorite podcast.
Oh my God, I love it. I love recommending podcasts to people. Watch Harsh Reality or listen to Harsh Reality.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out.
Oh, it's fascinating. It's a very troublesome docu audio thing about a reality TV show where the gag was that the contestant was trans and the cis men didn't know. And it was produced by a couple of gay men. So lots of layers in there.
I am definitely checking that out.
It is fascinating.
That's even worse than the reality show I mean, obviously it's so much worse, but there's this reality show which I thought there couldn't be a meaner one. It was where they lied to people about being good singers, and it was like finding America's worst singer, and they thought they were like good, but then at the end of the show they'd be like, we weren't actually finding America's top superstar, we were finding America's worst. I'm still floored by that. I'm trying to get over it, and I can't.
I was listening to it like, oh, this is cute. It's like except the twist is, and then I was like, what? And that's the show. And then they're going to tell them on air. And one of them was an ex-Marine. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. And you made the crew sign NDA so they couldn't tell. Okay. Interesting. And then you brought a counselor in the day before everything was going to happen. Okay. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, oh my God, that's my face. Your face right now is literally my face when I was listening to it. I was screaming.
You know when something's so bad, like you just can't.
But then I wasn't surprised because but actually even for the early 2000s, this is horrible. Even for the early 2000s, but then at the same time, the 90s, and that's the reason why I was kind of wanting to talk about this, because it's a correlation of like how the 90s, their favorite thing to do on Maury and stuff was
just
be like, my
evil.
girlfriend's a man, blah, 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 blah. Like, that used to be episode titles. Yep.
So evil.
Yep. It was, we were all, so.
And I'd love to say that that's changed, but actually in Britain, if anything, it's having a renaissance. So, right, shall we say goodbye?
Let's do it.
In my Toy Story where, the bye-bye now. I don't know if you've seen Toy Story 2, but it's from that. Or is it 3? Is it 2 or 3? I don't know.
Is it bye-bye? Bye-bye now.
It's Barbie and Ken, yeah. But feel free to put your own spin on it,
Okay.
So, right, in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.